The parking garage beneath the Ivory Crown Hotel smelled like exhaust fumes and old rain, a scent that had become the entire universe of Desmond Cole's nights, ever since the life he'd built with his own two hands had been dismantled by a woman who considered cruelty a hobby. He stood at the valet stand in a maroon vest 2 sizes too tight, watching sedans and sports cars roll in, remembering the days when he was the one stepping out of a car instead of parking it. Back when he owned the boutique hotel 3 streets over that people used to call the crown jewel of the district. Then came Priscilla Ashford-Vane, gliding through the revolving doors in a floor-length emerald coat, tossing her keys at Desmond without so much as a glance, the diamonds on her wrist catching the fluorescent light like tiny accusations. "Don't scratch it this time, or I'll have your little manager explain to you what a lawsuit looks like," she said, breezing past him toward the lobby where her husband, Julian Vane, a hedge fund titan with a smile like a closing contract, was already waiting to be fawned over by the staff. 2 years earlier, Desmond had turned Priscilla away at the door of his hotel's rooftop lounge for berating a hostess to tears, a decision that felt righteous in the moment but became the first domino in his ruin because Priscilla did not forgive. She engineered consequences. Within months, anonymous complaints flooded the health board. A whisper campaign painted his hotel as a front for something sinister, and his investors, spooked by rumors Priscilla had personally seeded at charity dinners, pulled their funding one devastating phone call at a time. By the time the bank foreclosed, Desmond had lost the building, his savings, and the name he once signed on contracts with pride. So he vanished into anonymity, dyed his hair, dropped 20 pounds from stress, and took the lowest job he could find at the very hotel where Priscilla and Julian had relocated their glittering social circle. For 2 years, he memorized their routines, their cruelties, and their business dealings, all while quietly rebuilding himself through a shell corporation called Ferrum Holdings, a name that meant nothing to anyone who mattered except him. While Priscilla complained about valet wait times and Julian ignored the staff as though they were furniture with a pulse, Desmond spent his nights combing through public foreclosure filings and shareholder disclosures, discovering that the Ivory Crown's parent company was drowning in debt from a failed expansion into 3 overseas markets. He reconnected with 2 former investors who despised Julian for a soured business deal years prior, and together they quietly acquired the hotel's defaulted mortgage note through Ferrum Holdings, along with exclusive rights to the property's beverage distribution contract, all without a single person in that glittering lobby suspecting a thing. The unraveling began small and precise. Valet software flagged Julian's Bentley as restricted over fabricated violations, forcing him to hoof it through the rain in his Italian shoes, while Priscilla's usual corner table was cordoned off for structural repairs that existed only on paper. Champagne deliveries mysteriously stalled at the loading dock, drink orders vanished into a queue that never seemed to move, and the couple who once ruled the hotel like sovereigns found themselves standing awkwardly near the kitchen doors, sweating in coats they refused to check with a staff they no longer trusted. Everything detonated on a Saturday night when Priscilla, furious over a delayed martini, hurled her emerald coat at Desmond's face hard enough to draw blood from a stray clasp, and he simply let it fall to the floor instead of catching it. A silence spreading through the lobby like spilled ice water. "I don't work here anymore," he said quietly, stepping around the valet stand and onto the marble floor that was now legally his, informing a stunned Priscilla and a paling Julian that Ferrum Holdings owned the mortgage, the liquor license, and every square inch beneath their designer shoes, while security guards who'd endured years of the couple's abuse formed a wall behind him without needing to be asked twice. as Julian sputtered about lawsuits and Priscilla screamed that he was just a parking attendant. Desmond calmly produced a sealed dossier of 2 years' worth of documented harassment against the staff, watching the color drain from Julian's face as he realized the PR catastrophe unfolding in real time under a dozen raised phone cameras. He had them escorted through the front entrance rather than the private exit reserved for VIPs. And as the doors swung shut behind their retreating, humiliated figures, the entire lobby staff erupted into applause, a sound Desmond let wash over him as he finally exhaled 2 years of held breath, understanding at last that patience, not fury, had been his sharpest weapon all along. If this story of quiet justice and hard-earned redemption resonated with you, we'd love for you to be part of our growing community. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.